Hi everyone, Rainbow Brite here, Wisp here, and today I want to talk about, why I do what I do. Why am I the bringer of cast and light and brightness? Why I was entrusted by God Almighty and Jesus the Son to bring cast, light, and brightness? Now, first off, I was about maybe 10 years old when God and Jesus came to me and said, Wisp, because that was my name. I know there aren't too many Wisps out there, but that's my name. And they said, would you like to do something to help the world? Now, I was always a kind-hearted, caring girl growing up and still am that same kind-hearted woman now. And I told God and Jesus, yes, that I would like to help the world. Now, little did I know that would mean being sent to a world in another star way, which had no cast, no light, no brightness at all, only dark and shadows and gloom. Now, even dark's a cast, you could say. And you'd be right, dark is a cast. Gloom is, I guess, dark itself, and shadows. And I said, and God and Jesus asked me if I did want to help that world, and I said, yes, I did. So I showed up, and showing up there, I had to look for the sword of light. And no one really knew what the sword of light looked like. Not the trees, not any of the other beings that I happened to see there. And there were many beings there. I don't know. I guess they still live in the hells. And I befriended TWINK, who was an elf or some kind of being who had lost his caste a long time ago. And I also befriended and freed STARLITE, who was frozen. And all the other elves were frozen. And then we spent our time looking for the caste strap, which led us to the no comeback waterway, which had dried up but then started to fill up as soon as we were there. We saw a bridge, but Mirkwell, Dismal, and Lurky, under the oversight of the King of Shadows, had the bridge broke, so we fell into the water. And luckily, God and Jesus helped all of us and put us, helped us. Helped me, helped STARLITE and TWINK, which seeked a baby, which we called Baby Brite, which at the time we didn't know was the Sword of Light, which was God, which was Jesus, we didn't know. And it leads us to a hollow where the cast trap was at. And it leads us to Red Butler, who was put into that hollow by the King of Shadows. Also, keep in mind, we also had to free Canary Yellow from a two-headed lindworm. We had to free Patio Green from a bird. She was a nest somehow. We had to go free Shy Violet, who was locked up and had all these fiends blown at her by these Kindles. And Indigo and Buddy Blue and Lila Orange, they were all somewhere else, but Mirkwell, Dismal, and Lurky had, taken them. Then we freed the rest of them. After that, somehow, Lurky seeked the baby, Mirkwell took the baby, and they were going to want us to give the baby for the cast strap, but goal didn't work, and we ended up fighting them off. And then, with the rest of the help from the other elves and other cast kids, I ended up fighting the King of Shadows. But I wasn't frightened, because I knew God and Jesus was with me. And God and Jesus worked with me and through me to beat the King of Shadows, because the Baby Brite became the Sword of Light, which was God and Jesus, and ended up beating the King of Shadows. After that, God told me, and Jesus told me, from now on, your name will be Rainbow Brite. and you will be entrusted with the cast light and brightness of all worlds. And there will be those who will wish to fight the light and take it away, and you will have to fight them. And I said, I will. And God and Jesus said, I know you will. Only I said, I will. Now I'm getting a little sad now, because I went for all that. And I show myself to be worthy and bold, And I am truly happy. 40 or 41 years, to be entrusted by God and Jesus to be the bringer of light and cast and brightness, to be the light bearer, the new light bearer. And I've been doing that for 40 years or 41 years. And sorry for me getting a little sad there. But this was sad. But those are tears of happiness, But it was never over for me. Because over those 40 or 41 years, I had to stop Merkwell Dismal with his goal, or stop him when it came to stopping Merkwell Dismal with his goals to take cast light and brightness out of the world, to stop the Dark Aldeling when she was blocking Centra so the sun could not get to the earth to shift winter over to spring. I had to fight the Dark Aldeling one more time when she came to Rainbow Land and frightened all of the elves into working for her. But out of all of it, dealing with the King of Shadows, dealing with Merkwell Dismal, dealing with the Dark Aldeling, I know at the end of the day that I was entrusted by God and Jesus to be the cast bearer, to bring the light bearer, to bring the brightness bearer. So that's how I became Rainbow Brite. And I've been working for God and Jesus for 40 or 41 years. And I want to say God and Jesus' blessings on all of you, and have a rainbow day.